Hey guys, today we'll be learning about leadership, the laws of leadership. Follow these and people will follow you. There's this amazing book that I read that inspired me to make this video. It's called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And I wanted to come up here and highlight the most important ones that will grow you in terms of power and progress in everything. So in the book is given an example of McDonald's. So I don't really remember the names, but the two founder of McDonald's created this good hamburger franchise, and they were selling out pretty good. But they were not able to grow their business. It was not becoming a large scale business all over the world. So the two founders, I believe, they hired another person who sort of led the brand. So when he came into the leadership position, he basically made the brand global. So McDonald's then became very well known. So that's what leadership is about. He multiplied the results. This is the law of lead that I consider the most important one. It's basically talks about effectiveness. So for a business to grow, a brand to grow, for a person, organization, whatever, if you want to grow, you will have to be effective. So the two founders, they created a good product, but they were not very successful in making the business effective and global. But when they hired a person for for the leadership, he was able to like spread the ideas, he was able to spread the business, and it became global. And we all know the success story of McDonald's now. Alright, so let's now get into the key points. This was just the law of lead. It was just talking about effectiveness, how you need to be effective. So the more effective you are, the better leader you are. So your influence, your talks, your points, whatever, you as a person, you have to be effective. You have to make things effective. That is what leadership is. The more effective you are, the better leader you are. So number one, law of influence. So leadership is not about titles and positions. It's not about who gets the highest position, he is the leader of the business. No, it law basically, a leader is one who influences people. All right, he brings something to the table, he brings people to the table, he brings. So leadership is not about influence. The leadership is not about titles and positions. It's about influence, how you're able to influence person. And influence is built through personality and common things like listening to other, taking change, trust. You can watch other videos of mine if you want to learn more about these types of things, because I've really highlighted on other videos of mine, and I'm not gonna start telling you about these things, because then the video will get long, and that's not the purpose of this video today. So yes, the law of influence. Leadership is not about titles and positions, it's about influence, setting influence on the person. Number two, law of process. A leader develops daily, not in a day. Okay, a leader does not develops overnight. You have to have that mindset that yes, I can do it and I will be able to do it, but it will not happen in one day. You have to be consistent. You need to constantly persist. Persistence is important. You have to ignore whatever's going on in your reality and just persist. So you will fail many times, okay? No one will follow you. No one will listen to what you're saying. You'll be standing in the middle of the crowd. You'll be saying out something because you need to take charge, but nobody will listen to you. They'll ignore you. They'll start talking on. So you will fail. You will fail many times. But take that failure as a learning, because failure is not a failure. We have created a huge deal out of failure. Like, oh my God, what if we fail? What if we fail? No. Failure doesn't exist. It's always a learning. Never a failure, always a learning. There are many opportunities, all right, around you, and you will take up on them. You will take up in many of them, and you will not take up in some of them. But it's all right, because you will be effective in some, but at the same time, you will not be effective in all of them. So yes, law of process. Develop daily, not in a day. Number three, law of solid ground. So trust is your foundation, as I highlighted in the law of influence also. Trust is your foundation. You need to build trust between your followers. If you disregard their ideas and what they have to say, if you disregard their opinions, their needs, you will not be able to establish a good relationship, and you will not become a good leader. A good leader has confidence and discipline. He trusts himself. He recognizes his flaws and works on them. He has got the confidence. He shows up. If he says he's going to show up, he does show up. And the results, he knows that the results might not be perfect, but his efforts are definitely going to be perfect. A good leader knows that I don't care what the result will be. The result might not be perfect, but the efforts that I'm putting, what I'm trying, it has to be the best. I have to put out my best. Not all the time, but I have to aim for it. You need to first have trust with yourself. You need to trust yourself. If you say you're going to show up for your goal, if you say I'm going to exercise uh, uh, like daily, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to cut out the sugary foods, I'm going to exercise daily, but next day you're out there, you're breaking your habit, you're breaking your trust, you're breaking your promise, what you said, then you are not developing trust. You're lying to yourself. Imagine that you're lying to yourself only. So complete the task that you set for yourself, do it, and then build trust with other people. Listen to them. All right, don't get offended so quickly. Learn to look at opinions in different ways. See, any subject, it will always have dual opinions. One will be against it, one will be with it. So you need to be open to both of them. And even if you're not, if you feel like you're against it, try to listen to both of them. If you will listen to it at least 20 times, you will realize that yes, the person speaking has a valid point. And it does not mean that the person who's speaking has a valid point and you do not have a valid point. Both people have a valid point. So you just need to hear and realize that there are always two opinions, and you need to respect both of them. It is not that you have to go against the other opinion and just defend your opinion. No, you have to listen to both and acknowledge it. Both opinions are opinions of the same subject. So your ground needs to be clear and solid. Like imagine trying to build an Empire State Building on a 6-inch slab. You won't be able to do it, right? So that's what it is. You cannot build an Empire State Building on 6-inch slab. So your foundation needs to be strong. So ground needs to be solid. You should have trust in that ground. Okay, number 4, law of respect. So it is human nature to follow someone better than you, smarter than you, stronger than you. People respect someone better. So if I have to respect someone, we obviously respect our elders who have gotten the better experience. They have a better understanding of the world, and we do that with our leaders also. Imagine your president or prime minister or whatever. They're good at controlling the world. They're good in their leadership. That's why we're respecting them. All right, so it is in human nature to respect someone at the higher pedestal than you. So that's what you have to do as well. You have to choose people who are better than you when you're considering your circle as well. So people whom you're associating with, you need to choose people better than you, smarter than you, stronger than you. Whatever you're doing something, you need to follow someone who's better than you, who's in front of you. If you want to learn something, you have to choose people who have already done that thing. All right, you have to follow them. So obviously respect comes both way when considering leadership. So if you want your followers to respect you, you have to respect them, you have to respect their needs, but you have to stay solid and clear on your opinions. If you believe in something, you don't have to change that because someone else beliefs are different, someone else gives other opinion. Like in the book, there's this example given of the author that when he came to work in a new church, he was at the highest position. And of course, the author was good in the leadership aspects, and he knew how to establish influence. So in that church, there was this one person whom everybody listened to. If anybody wanted to get something done for the development of the church, they would go to that person. But obviously, what the author wanted for the church, it was different because people were having different needs, and they were telling that person who they used to listen to. But the author wanted something different. So what the author did, he had dinner with them, and he stood on his solid ground. He stood clear on what he wanted and how he wanted it to be. He did not change because someone else had established influence. He talked to him and he said that I'm going to be here, and I'll consult with you, but you also need to regard what I'm trying to say, acknowledge what I'm trying to say. All right, so influence establishes respect. Obviously, we all know that. So yes, law of respect. It's human nature to follow someone better than you, and that's who you need to choose. Now, law of magnetism. So you attract who you are. This is very true in the leadership sort of aspect, but it's also true in real life. So if you, from inside, you feel like everybody is ugly, you find everyone horrible, you hate everybody, you will attract the people like that. So if you find like, why is everybody getting on my nerves, why does everybody against me, because you are like that from the inside. So you need to change yourself in order to change the people around you. You cannot change the people around you, you cannot change their thinking, but you can change yourself, who you are from within, so you can change the people that surround you. I hope it makes sense. Similarly, in leadership aspect, if a leader is not effective enough, he will have lazy followers who don't have the drive, who don't want to listen to them, and they will clearly the leader would not be able to establish influence with them. So this is true in real life, and this is true in leadership also, that if a leader is not effective, he will attract the same kind of followers. But if a leader is effective, then the followers would also have the drive, and they would want to follow him. So confident, secure, if you're confident, secure and good, you will attract the same type. If you're confident, you will attract confident people. If you love gossip, you love to hate on people, you condemn money, you condemn life, you will attract that same kind of people. Alright, law number 6, law of the buy-in. In order for a business, organization, something, project, whatever, if in order for something to succeed, people have to buy into the vision and the leader both. It doesn't go like either way. You can just have one thing. You need to have both of them. If a leader is good but his vision is bad, then people will buy into the leader. They will find him effective and influential. But if they will not like the vision, then there's no point. And if the vision is good, the vision is spectacular, but the leader is bad, the McDonald example basically, then again your thing cannot go global or whatever. It cannot grow big. And then obviously if your leader is bad and your vision is also bad, then again there's no saying. But if you have a good leader and you have a good vision, then you are going to go very far. So people buy into that. Your idea or whatever has to be good enough, but the leader should be able to take it to great heights. So you need to hire people like McDonald's did. You need to hire good people, learn leadership. People need to look up to a person and expect from them. That's what makes a leader good. So that was all for the laws. Now, this may seem confusing because I've told you all the laws regarding leadership, but how do you actually learn to be an effective leader? So the best way to learn, the most effective way to learn is looking at others. Looking at great effective leaders, better leaders in the history. There's so many of them. Instead of spending time to go on Instagram, search this up on Google, effective and better leaders. Search it, look at their speeches, look at them, look at their body language, observe them, observe their followers, experience being their followers. That's the best way to learn, and you can understand their principle, and then you can incorporate that into yourself, into your life, into your projects, establishments, whatever. So you need to look at others, look at good leaders, effective leaders. So that was it for today's video. I hope you learned something or the other from this. This is a very niche topic, but again, don't underestimate this leadership, the power of leadership, because if you follow these laws, and there are many more laws, you can read the book. It's called 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I don't remember the author, but if I do, I'll put it in the description. So you should definitely read the book and understand all the things and look at effective leaders and learn. I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.